finally about to release my 4th studio album, March 1st, my birthday. I'll turn 32, so we'll be celebrating life as well as getting my 4th album, Everlasting, out to the world. I'm very excited about it. The first 2 singles that we released thus far are very bold. They're very sensual. I still believe in the element of love. I still think that is necessary. I feel like that's what we all were put here on earth to do. And that's something I wanted to bring back to the radio, back to the streaming formats, back to the internet, and just back to R&B, period. I think R&B is finally taking that shift back into the right place with artists like her, Ella Mai, Daniel Caesar, Luke James. Tank is thriving, and he's been in the business for a long time, but he's actually peaking now as a 42, 43-year-old veteran in the game. So that's refreshing to let me know that people want substance, honesty, transparency, and vulnerability back in the business and back in music, and Everlasting is full of that. I pretty much took all the relationships that I've gone through, even some one-night stands and flings, because my mom told me those things will have an everlasting effect on the man I ultimately become. So that's why I called it or entitled it Everlasting. And I just wanted to share, with the fans and with the people. This is the most vulnerable and honest I've ever been. And I realize letting your fans into your life like that through the gift of song, it makes them connect with it, and it's super relatable, and it's very honest. And good, bad, and ugly, everyone will hear all sides and spectrums of myself.
Cool. So, Sammie, like I mentioned earlier, your last album, man, that was such a solid piece of work.
Thank you.
And you've developed so much over the years vocally. You've gone into writing, into producing. Just talk about the necessity for an R&B artist to be well-versed in their craft.
Man, I've always, like I said, when I came back at 18, I was a sponge, but I always felt like you should be able to deliver your own hits, because there'll be a day, where the premier writers and the premier producers, you might not have access to them, so you need to be in control of your own destiny. And in 2009, when I lost everything from my ex-business partner of mine, well, he took everything, rather, I didn't have a deal. I didn't have a budget. I didn't have these amazing producers to just pull up in the studio and work with. I had to figure it out, so I formulated a team. I always co-wrote back then, but I had to really learn how to write top to bottom, vocal arrange myself, set up a template, and learn how to record myself. These are things that now in 2019, I'm glad that I went through those things, because now I'm able to develop and create, rather, an entire project with very little assistance from a creative standpoint. I don't need anybody to write it for me. I know what tracks resonate with me and when to speak, and I know when I need to dumb it down or when I need to elaborate a little more or dig deeper for that clever lyric. I like challenging myself, and I like being the fall guy. If the record does awesome, you can blame me. And if it doesn't do awesome, you can blame me. I don't really like to put my fate in someone else's hands, and I just love being able to deliver in crunch time. Like, it's kind of, I guess, where athletes kind of get that high with 3 seconds on the clock and they want to take the final shot. That's me when it comes down to creating music. I feel like I'm more than capable and more than able to create classic, timeless R&B. And I think that's why I've been around for so long, is because I've mastered how to create music that impacts people's souls and people's spirit. It's not just trendy music that's here for a certain time. I want to be here. I've been here 20 years. I want to be here 20 more if I so choose to.
I want to hear your opinion on something, Sammie, because, we've been supporting you for many years now. And, you have a couple singles out, Playlist and Times 10 with Lil Baby. And there's a little bit of a contrast in the sounds. Times 10 is a little bit more radio-friendly. Playlist is a little, it's still edgy, but it's a little more traditional. At Times 10, we're more of a traditional type of R&B site. So when you release Times 10, it wasn't really our lane. We had to unfortunately pass on it. It wasn't an insult. It's just like that. Right. We just look at it like a challenge that artists face nowadays, like kind of going between what sound do I fit with, what will make me commercially viable, what do my fans want to hear. There's so many things about it. So what is this challenge you face when deciding which sound to go with on a record?
Well, actually, so for this album, I had the most fun creating because, and just to give you all some insight, this is my first time since I've been back from a mainstream standpoint in 2016 that I have a radio budget. I always was really just focused on the viral campaign.
Right.
But in this deal, I have a radio budget, so I was able to create records like times 10 that's going crazy in the streaming world right now, featuring Lil Baby, who's one of the hottest artists, not just in Atlanta but in the game. So it was fun to go create a times 10, or I have this record on the album called Stupid, or Three Side. They still have substance, they still have harmonies, they still have sonically the passion that R&B has been lacking. However, it's simple enough and vibey enough to be radio. That's purposely done. Because at the core of myself, I can create playlists 20 more times in my sleep, because that's really who I am. I'm this transparent guy that loves to sing. I'm a crooner. I don't need the auto-tune and things of that nature. So this album was fun to create because I think that just how my deal is structured, I can grasp everybody. So I can get the radio and the DJs and the MDs and the PDs as far as the radio campaign is concerned. And as far as the traditional R&B lovers of the world, that's who I am to the core of myself. So it's a perfect blend. It wasn't a challenge, nor was it a battle with self. It's I would call it just being business savvy, understanding that this project I can create for everybody. COA, back when I was doing Indigo, even if you went to my mixtape days when I did Insomnia, I wasn't targeting radio. I wasn't targeting commercial success at all. I was strictly staying all the way to the R&B lovers of the world. But on this album, I wanted to give you a taste and a gumbo, if you will, of everything, and to captivate not just the people that grew up with me, but I'm 31, so there's a whole generational gap of kids now that don't know Sammie. So playlists might not be their cup of tea, so to speak, but times 10 would be. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just that balance to get not just the generation that grew up with me, but to also garner the attention and ears of the millennials, so to speak. Because I want everybody. I want everybody from 18 all the way to 45, you know what I mean? Because I think music is that powerful that you can speak to those different demographics without forcing it on them. And I had a great time creating a project that I felt was well balanced. Yeah, I'm lost. I was baffled by it. It was more just disrespectful for me. I just, for the simple fact that out of everybody that's on that tour, legit, everybody, and I don't even think, and you name Twins are the big homies, but they're not even of the millennium as far as the time goes. And
right.
To me, those are two wild cards that they just picked for whatever reason, or to add, I guess, some type of hip hop flair. But from an R&B standpoint, everybody that's on that tour, I was the first child star of the millennium. If it wasn't called the Millennium Tour, I wouldn't care, to be honest with you. I could give two shits about it. But because you called it that, and because I was so successful in 99 to 2001, I was the first to have a #1 record on the Billboard since Stevie Wonder. I'm the first to be certified gold and then platinum. Of that lineup, I influenced the executives to go find talent like a B2K or an Amarion or a Lloyd, or, you know what I mean? It was the success that Sammie had with Capitol Records and Dallas Austin that shifted the industry to go find another young child star. And that there came Lil Romeo and Lil Bow Wow and Lil Corey and so forth and so forth. So I know my name was brought up. I've done shows with these guys, and I will say this is just the honest truth. It's when I do shows in the catalog that I have, these girls, or now women rather, they sing word for word. If I have an hour and a half set, I promise you we're engaged together the entire set. And that could be intimidating to some of those guys. I've done shows where there's been some little issues behind the scenes, nothing that the fans will know and nothing that I've ever spoken about out loud. But I just feel like my name came up, and for whatever reason, they opted to go another route. And the only reason that I could come up with is because when I step on that stage, whether I go first or whether I go last, whether you give me 30 minutes or 45 to an hour, I would kill shit. I leave it all on the stage night in and night out. I'm not into controversy. I don't create drama. And I just think people understand that the resurrection, quote unquote, of my career these past 3 years have been so organic, so unforced. There's no reality TV campaign, or it's not about who I'm dating. It's strictly about the music. It's strictly about the love and the legacy that I've been leaving in this game in R&B for going on 2 decades. And I just felt like I said it on the Shade Room, you know what I mean? And finally some people came out to speak on that, but that's the only thing I can garner up, because it doesn't make sense to not have Sammie a part of the Millennium Tour, because I was such a inspiration and so valuable in that culture during that time. So I wish them luck, though. You know, in the same sentence, I have a few tours that I'm going on the end of the year and end of the summer, but because they called it the Millennium Tour, I just took it as disrespect to not even, it is one thing to even give us the opportunity to be on it or turn it down. No one reached out to my campaign at all, and that was the part that made it quite interesting to me.